Welcome everyone to Now Next Later. Today I'll be joined by Sasha momentarily. As always, I will keep the chat open so you can put your comments in there. As we wait for Sasha to join, I'll give you a little background. I see the waiting rooms entering the room, so I don't know if my audio kicks in right away, but I'm watching the chat. Today's Now Next Later is special because Sasha and I wanted to do something a little fun and a little different. So thanks for tuning in this week. I don't know if this week's a little bit slower for you, given that there's a holiday later and it's a short week, but we felt like it was worth kind of a fun twist on the show. Sasha, perfect timing as usual. Thank you. It's great to see you.
Likewise. Did you get a haircut?
I just did a little different, more product today, you know? I was
Well,
feeling like
no,
Monday,
meanwhile,
holiday
I
week,
did not. I look like
get
a
up and
lioness.
I'm still in a hoodie though. This has become like so comfortable that we're doing, come as you are here on Now Next Later. So it's all good.
It works.
I was just about to tease the structure for today's show.
Okay.
So we've got a holiday meal for you. That's my framing of it. We're gonna go through a Thanksgiving dinner of takes from the industry of things we've heard this year. So here's how it's gonna work. I wrote down, and there'll be some controversy, I'm sure, from this, but I wrote down turkey, mashed potatoes, greens, which could be your green beans, Brussels sprouts. I think some people probably do asparagus.
Mhm.
Stuffing, which is always kind of controversial, bread, cranberry sauce, and pie dessert. So we're going to have these are our categories, and we're going to talk about the mortgage industry in each of those categories. And we're going to take obviously comments and questions. Please keep them coming. Thank you, Bob, for tuning in as always and chiming in. So without further ado, let's give this structure a try. The turkey, which is the main dish. It's what's associated with Thanksgiving, but let's be honest, it's a little boring. Nobody really is looking forward to the turkey. It's more, you got to have it there for good luck and tradition, and you surround it with the things that you really want to have. So let's start with like the turkey. What from this year is that kind of like, it is true. It's kind of the most popular or common thing we've learned on Now Next Later this year, but it's not necessarily that exciting. It's just kind of your white meat um, trend. So, Sasha, do you want to go first, or do you want me to?
Oh God, please go first because I feel
Okay,
stumped on this one, and I'm not normally stumped. I mean, I
I
have it,
know.
but it feels plain Jane, which maybe is what we're looking for given the
I
plain
think,
Jane of
yeah.
turkey.
Well, I'll throw mine out there to start, but I am curious. Are you white meat, dark meat, or both when you go up there and like get in
Ooh,
line to serve
okay.
yourself?
So you're not gonna love this. And I'm gonna be shamed by people on this call. I can feel it already. I am not a Thanksgiving meal person. I don't even like hot turkey. I like cold turkey the next day on a sandwich.
Mm, hmm.
But if I am going to eat pheasant, we'll say in general, I prefer dark, but I will
Yeah,
eat both. But I like the
yeah, right on.
flavor and kind of the fat that gives the flavor to the dark meat.
Totally. If you're gonna
Yeah.
do it, right? But yeah.
Yeah, Jake
So,
took me on the cold turkey next day on a sandwich.
all right, so I'll take it even a step further, which is this is taking the metaphor way too far. But I'll say like LOS decisions was my white meat of the year. Meaning we heard from everybody one of two things. I have to make Encompass as small as possible because I don't want my LOs in it. I want as few people in it as possible. So like reduce the size of the LOS, but I'm still shackled to it.
Yeah.
Or in a few cases, it's like I'm actually reevaluating my contract. I might actually be making a change. I don't know. I don't want to. It's not, it is a major decision, I guess, in that sense. But I thought that just like the conversation around LOS wasn't the same as years before, but it was still
Mhm.
pretty basic.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's a really good point. I agree with you. And it's interesting the oscillation that I've seen, or maybe oscillating is the right word, of years where lenders lean more into the LOS and just go with the flow versus the years where they're like, give me some variation and then they start to like play with the challenges around the variation and then perhaps that either scares them into go back to
Yeah.
the normal way or they do find a way to double down and start to make progress to, I'll say, kind of fill in or fill out, the offering so that it works more to how they want it to support their operations. I do think something unique that you mentioned is, and I haven't always paid attention to this theme, but we did hear it a lot this year around, wanting LOs to not be so much in it and be touching it, being more, on the front end, POS or otherwise. So I do think that is an interesting theme that we heard a lot of this year.
And the way I was thinking about adding this in, because I don't think it fits any other category for me.
Yeah.
So I'll make it the dark meat version of turkey real quick, which is
You can make it what I eat on Thanksgiving, which is rack of lamb, which is
there
far
you
more
go.
interesting in my mind than turkey.
That's why you're on Now Next Later, Sasha. Let's be clear. You are innovating even on the holidays to say, I don't need turkey. I need what I like, which is I'll take the rack of lamb.
Yeah.
Christmas be damned.
Can't help it. My family's from former Yugoslavia, so we Slavic people eat lots of lamb.
There you go.
So
So the
Robbie,
other,
he couldn't help it. He's like, I heard lamb and I had to be here.
I know I offered him, I knew he has hot takes and he doesn't love coming on camera, but I wanted some Robbie hot takes. So I definitely threw in the invitation via email to say, I know you're going to appreciate this format.
Just flew into the danger zone, man.
It's also his media company, so he can jump on whenever he wants. He could do whatever he wants.
I could not be here.
Good to see you. Are you turkey on Thanksgiving? Very traditional.
It depends how the turkey is cooked.
Oh,
Like some of these new age, like brine it or
smoke it.
better traditional
Anybody
turkey.
deep frying?
Yeah, put it in those things outside and
Yeah. Do that.
That's better.
I think some people are air frying it. I heard like a buttermilk
Oh.
turkey air fryer recipe recently, which I thought was
Hmm.
cool. Also, hi everybody that's on this call. I'm Robbie.
Thank you. Thank you, Robbie, for
Stick
joining.
it in a bag, says Paul. All right. We like soothing the turkey. Like, tell me more.
There you go. Look at this. All these cool people here. Marvin chiming in. I love it.
Yeah.
We've got a great group.
I'm not historically a turkey person. It just, yeah, it's not
Get
great.
on the Sasha train.
If I do turkey, I prefer the dark meat to the light meat, a little more flavor, a little more fat.
There we go.
You're with Bob and I. This is good.
Yeah.
We're liking it.
Look at Bob.
Right, so,
holy smokes, y'all got the best
Smoked
attention.
turkey on the Traeger. That it is. I will say that smoked turkey on the Traeger is good. I'm Bob. We're on the same wavelength today.
That's the better way. Agreed. Yeah. Plus, you leave the kitchen open for the main, the main attraction,
True.
Which is your mashed potatoes, your sweet potatoes, things like that.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to mashed potatoes. So here's the next thing, which I called the star of the show. I don't know if that's the right way to think about it, but I make sweet potatoes every year, but you got to have one or the other or both. And they're always, the sides is where the action is. That's where everybody's paying attention. And we'll start with the mashed potatoes. So my mashed potatoes take this year was essentially, I'll put it all under the category of day one certainty. I know that's just Fannie Mae, but like this idea of like data first, data only with a token, getting income, assets, and employment as early as possible, changing it as little as possible, and then delivering a data only loan to the GSEs. To me, that's what everybody was talking about. Not everybody's perfected it. Not everybody has the sweet potatoes and the mashed potatoes at their dinner, but it's what everyone looks forward to. It's probably the most satisfying. And that's my side dish, my top side dish. What do you say to that?
You ask me or Robbie? I'm so used to it, like, it's so obvious. It goes to me, Robbie. Now you're here. It's so, I'm going to akin it to, it's what you put on the mashed potatoes, and the butter is the expediting of the velocity that we need in this industry to get those things to work in the right way. And butter makes everything better. So that's what I'm going with.
Right on.
Look, I don't really know anything about mortgage banking, but I know a lot about food based on the size of my belly. So I'm gonna stick to food. And I have to say that sweet potatoes to me are completely different than mashed potatoes. Like you can't make a sweet mashed potato. You got to put marshmallows on
I
the
see what you're saying. Hmm.
mashed potatoes is its own dish. All right, I'm gonna try here. Maybe mashed potatoes is Fannie Mae to the sweet potato with marshmallow that's Freddie Mac. You know, it seems like people are a lot happier with Freddie
Did
Mac
you just
lately.
call Fanny mashed and Freddie sweet? I just want to clarify.
I did. Let me look
I
into
knew
it.
this would be a good framework. This is
Yeah.
perfect. It's going off the rails already.
So
I love it.
I think traditional, Fanny, boom, they're kind of mashed potatoes. They could use a little butter here. They could use a little sprucing up from
Right?
what I've heard. People seem to be frustrated with them, and maybe that's been part of the plan to kind of gut them before they get taken out of conservatorship. I don't know. But Freddie recently, I've heard a lot of companies saying, "Hey, most of our business is going to Freddie. Freddie's been doing a great job." So I'm gonna say Freddie's the sweet potatoes with marshmallow toppings.
I have to be
I like
careful on picking a favorite, but I would say I've heard a lot of data points to support what you mentioned, Robbie. A lot of participation in pilots, a lot of driving forward new movement, new products, new whatever it might be to help get the industry going in the right direction. I've heard a lot of data to support that argument.
Ira's comment in the chat. We've got the
Oh,
customization, personalization aspect. You get
yes.
your mashed potato bar, and then you got all the fixins. I've had that at a
Oh,
wedding where there was
Ira,
like a mashed potato bar, but Ira nailed it. Do that at your Thanksgiving.
mind blown. I have to do this now. This
You
is the
have
best
to.
idea I've heard yet. How have I never heard of this?
I see Paul's on. Paul, this is like your form-free passport, maybe your FinLocker. It's like your personalized mashed potato bar to get that loan through. So, all right, we're moving on to like greens. I don't know, beans. Maybe you
Brussels.
do collards. Maybe you do Brussels
Brussels all the way.
sprouts. You got to have something green on the plate. And I wrote down, I think you have to have something green just to make yourself psychologically feel better about everything else you put on the plate. We mentioned butter already. We're gonna have butter on our mashed potatoes. We're gonna have butter on our bread. So you got to have some greens on there, if nothing else, just for the psychological aspect.
I
So
think
what
you still put butter on greens. Come on, Jeremy, butter
I
on
was
everything.
like, bacon's gonna go on my
it's on
Brussels, but
everything.
let's be
Bacon on the
honest.
Brussels. Yeah, yeah. But you visually you see the green on your plate and you're like, I'm all right. I'm doing fine.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, Sasha, one of the things we said in the very first episode of Now Next Layer that I'm going to bring back here for our greens is, did you audit your processes in your tech to make sure that you don't have overlapping everything? And you don't want to do it. It's boring. It's not actually that fun. It actually makes you feel a little bit like I should be doing better every time you do it. But if you don't do it, you continue to waste time and money. So it's not a perfect comp for greens, but it's sort of like you got to do what you got to do. You got to eat your vegetables, even if you put butter on them. That's okay. We support it, as Robbie just said. But like you've got to find out what you've got and how much of your systems are doing all the same thing or that you're not using. And we heard that theme a lot from day one of this show to today.
Yeah, that plus just general data management, right? Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's a very hard problem for anyone, let alone a lender, to solve of how you centralize and manage your data. But without doing that and without doing tech stack evaluation and realizing where you have overlap or disparate systems with disparate data that create so many headaches for you, trying to automate a broken process is a nightmare. So yeah, you got to do the due diligence. You got to go back. You got to do the cleanup. Call it spring cleaning, call it fall cleaning. I don't know,
That's
but
right.
it's
Eat your
hard,
vegetables.
work that we don't want to do. Like you said, and now you're making me think my Brussels sprouts are steamed the way that my dad ate them with nothing on them.
Oh,
Oh my God.
no. I
That,
actually
that's
didn't know.
basically what process and tech stack evaluation sounds like to me. Steamed
Embarrassed to
Brussels.
say, I'm embarrassed to say, I went to a friend's house in college for dinner. You know, like when your college friend takes you home that once a month for like the home cooking, you're like, love it. And his mom made roasted Brussels sprouts. And I had never even know you could
I
do
love
that. I was like,
roast.
where's this? No, I know. But I was like 20 before I figured out that's actually the way
Wow,
to make them.
that's
And
good.
now I've never made them a different way since. But it was like, yeah, my mom was always steamed everything, boiled broccoli. Ugh.
I mean, I'm sure
Um,
to some, I don't actually, we should do the research on like, do you lose nutritional value by roasting versus boiling? Because it's when you start to
I
cook the vegetable that you lose it. So I don't know that there is a difference, but roasting is where it caramelizes it. And oh my goodness, the
That's
caramelization
where
of
it's at.
veggies are what makes them palatable.
All right. Make your audit process and your reviews palatable. That's our
Caramelize
standard
it.
here. All
Yep.
right, Robbie, this next one's for you. There's stuffing.
Because you
The
know I'm
top,
not a vegetable guy, so no vegetable question for Robbie.
you were like Al Michaels. Does Al Michaels claims to have never eaten a vegetable in his whole life. And
Really?
I thought you looked up to that. You were like, you know what? Give me the steak on a plate, nothing around it. I'm good.
Well, a couple olives in the martini counts as vegetables. I'm going to Al Michael's favorite restaurants in LA next month, a place called Toscana. I'll reach out to the audience here before you ask this question. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. Here we are on Broadway
Ooh,
Street. There's Broadway in the background. You can see a honky tonk down there. If anybody has Nashville recommendations that are not Hattie B's hot chicken, put them in the chat.
anything but Eddie V's.
Anything but Hattie B's. All right, what's your question, Jeremy?
Stuffing. So the top line question is yes or no to stuffing, and then the sub question is inside the bird or not. Those are the two pieces of the stuffing question for you.
Yes and yes. Come on.
Yes and yes.
Live. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Look at Sasha's face. He doesn't like that answer. Sasha, you don't put it in the bird?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm busy looking at my hot sauce recipes for Jake. What were you asking me? Do I put stuffing in the bird? I don't want stuffing in the bird. I think that's
Really?
weird.
You don't
Like,
want like the
we
fat
take all the stuff out of the bird. Why do we want to put stuff back in the bird? That doesn't.
because I feel like the juices get into the stuffing and then it's much more taste. No? I'll say this, Jeremy. I maybe it takes a 50-50 approach because I do like the turkey juices with the stuffing, but I also like the crispiness and crunchiness of texture if you can like put it in the oven or an air fryer. So I think
Yep.
you both. Maybe that's
One
a
of each.
I am
My
pulling things
aunt does
out of
one of each.
my magical hire. Maybe that's having, a differentiated workflow for consumers that like high touch versus low touch. How's that
Mm,
Hey, there we
for
go.
here we
There we
go.
All
go.
right.
I
Want an
like that.
automated process. I don't want to talk to a person. Maybe some other people, boomers, want someone to call them immediately when they put on a put in an application. Got to switch it up. Some stuffing here, some stuffing there.
And you would love this format. That's a perfect answer because you've got everybody this year's rolling out like some version of Chat GPT for their customers, right? Like there's some Chat GPT that's either going to your LOs, going to your customer service bot, going to your consumers. And then of course there's somebody who still wants to call in, who maybe even still wants to meet. So there we go. Stuffing the Chat GPT versus just give me a call of the Thanksgiving meal. Sasha, any thoughts on that?
No, other than I'm sad. Bob and I were on the same wavelength and now we're completely off. He likes the stuffing in the bird, so I've lost it. And yes, Jake, honeybee hot. That's the one. I'm telling you. Okay, so I can't even remember the guy's name, and I feel like such a butthead for not. But there's a branch manager for Supreme Lending that has his own hot sauce company on the side out of Austin, Texas, and this honeybee hot sauce on Brussels sprouts with a little bit of regular honey, some goat cheese, and some bacon. And I'm telling you right now. Oh, and balsamic glaze. Oof. Telling you.
Hey, I like it. Supreme Lending, reach out to us.
I
We
know,
will
you're
take you as a
welcome.
sponsor.
I'll
We can
remember his
sponsor.
name in a minute when I
Get some
feel like a
hot sauce.
jerk
We'll
for
sell
not
some hot
remembering.
sauce. We'll do some recruiting. We'll sell some hot sauce here. Whatever you
Listen,
need.
we got to help lenders make money, whatever it takes.
Whatever.
If it's
That's
a
right.
hot sauce or a loan, we're gonna help them.
That's right.
I'm hungry.
Just gonna get everybody ready for lunch here. So the next category I have, and I already have been spying the jumbo size King's Hawaiian rolls at Costco so I can bring them to Thursday's meal. But bread is our next category. I think it's a universal. Even if for health reasons you can't have bread, you still understand the attraction. Bread's the best. Bread and butter. I mean, rolls, whether it's what we're doing, crescent rolls or Hawaiian or just your regular dinner roll, everybody's spying, eyeing the bread. So I'll let you think about it while I do mine. I actually decided that my bread was going to be servicing retention. Weirdly, there's a company that I've worked with, but also saw recently at a demo, the Lending Tree Summit, called Ardley. They run customized pricing daily on your portfolio. Very low touch from like a manual perspective. Plug in your PPE, run your analytics. Everybody gets a customized offer. And let me tell you, when I was at Rocket Mortgage, customized offers convert via email, via text. When you can say your offer, your house at your address, you can save, whether it's a HELOC or a refi. Customization, customized offers out of your existing book is huge. So my bread for 2024 was how you make your existing customers that special offer. Thoughts on bread, thoughts on my format here and what I chose. Sasha?
Ladies first.
Ladies first. All right. Well, I like that one. I want to offer a second one, and it's a theme that has come up over and over this year too, which is the best CRM is the one that you use. Plus, I really
Yep.
do love what Total Expert's up to. I just feel like they keep coming up with more and more to make that process easier. So if I'm going to give something a little different off the cuff,
Love it.
I feel like that would be where I would go with my bread.
Also, there's a bunch of CRMs. There's a bunch of bread options. I like that.
There are a bunch.
Definitely. Yeah. But you're right. There's a clear mover and a shaker, especially right now. John Hill, appreciate that. I rode with him to the Michigan game on Saturday. So
I feel like we've given him like 3 shout outs this year. He needs to start sponsoring these.
That's right. Total expert. Robbie, bread. What are we doing over there?
I like where your head is with the King's Hawaiian rolls. I'm a big King's Hawaiian rolls fan. I thought on bread, maybe I'll be able to link it to the mortgage industry. You got to have good bread or biscuit, something fresh, or King's Hawaiian, something soft. If you're going to put some janky bread out there that is like old, or you're wasting space in your stomach, and space in the gut is a premium. So maybe you guys, what is that a premium in the mortgage industry that it's not worth taking up space to use?
I do love the Hawaiian rolls. I will say I'm spoiled that my nephew's girlfriend makes fresh sourdough. And I'm a sucker for sourdough. And especially if it's, she started her own company to do it. It's so good.
Oh, I'm in. That sounds fantastic.
I want to relate it to like data. Like you should have your own data, like repository if it's going to be good. But if there's
you got to know.
No, trust me. Have you not been joining our calls? We've been trying to solve this for a year, and we're still at ground zero.
Well, it's a secret, and we'll let our attendees in because we love them so much on the secret. Jeremy logs in as me every week, so I was scared today logging in that I was going to boot him out of the show and he was going to be sent to the hinterlands, but it worked. So maybe I'll tune in more of them now.
Okay, I want to be sensitive to time. We got 2 more categories. The next category I wasn't going to include, but then I felt like it's a universal debate topic, and that's cranberry sauce. There's the canned version. There's obviously the homemade version. And then I think there's a lot of people who are like, cranberry sauce, ? Like, really? So that's really the question on the table. And then I'll jump in with what I wrote down for mine. But cranberry sauce, yes, no, and which kind?
Well, what
are you taking it? I got an answer. It came to me like,
go, Robbie, go. Let's go.
I'm going to say it's like your LOS, where you can get it canned up. Sure, canned cranberry sauce, fine, whatever. Spruce it up. And I've learned this recently in my cooking career. If you get red sauce for a pasta or whatever, put some oregano in it, put some Parmesan, put some pepper, like spruce it up, get Hamburger Helper, spruce it up, an LOS. Yeah, it's going to come pre-canned. You can do whatever. Configure it to what you need. And so, yeah, take pre-canned cranberry, maybe put some regular cranberry, maybe put some other cool things in there that you think would add texture, spice it up.
A little orange zest.
Orange and cinnamon.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Orange and cinnamon. I feel like those are the way to go.
I like that one.
Yeah.
My cranberry sauce this year was HELOC and second liens. Just like you got to add them. The most people have them, not everybody. And it's going to do its job. It's going to help you out a little bit on the first lien stuff. Freddie Mac got involved and said, we'll do some too if they meet these very specific criteria. And I felt like it was, okay, that's kind of out of the box. It's very traditional, but you can spice it up. As Robbie said, spicing it up on the HELOC side. Things like that. So that was mine. HELOC or home improvement seconds, something like that was my cranberry sauce. But I like talking about
I've thrown
actual cranberry
a
sauce.
quick
I think
note
Robbie's
about-
answer is
I've
better.
thrown a quick note about Figure, because I'm
Sure, please do.
both the CEO of their lending and their marketplace, both are ex-SoFi guys, and I was in their office last week in New York,
Mhm.
and they did not confirm this, but I've heard rumors that they're positioning themselves to be a big competitor to Fannie and Freddie if those two get released from conservatorship, and even if they don't, Figure is trying to position themselves as a large competitor to them, which is
So
pricing in the industry.
Are you a
First
kidding
lien-
cranberry sauce to bring you back private label?
this is like way beyond. That's like the whole. That's like the whole meal right there. Yeah, that's like not even. I don't think we have a category for that. That's like who's hosting. That's like a new. You're going to like the family relative that got the new house and everybody's going there. That's like a whole
Right?
other piece of this.
Oh,
So
man.
Robbie, is that for first liens too? Like actually like the securitization platform for PLS? That'd be great. I like that goal. That's a good dream.
I almost think that's
Really
like, what
good.
is your first plate that you take? You get to, you can load it up, but you are selective about what you want. How do you load it up? I almost think
Yeah.
that-
I thought you were
Yeah,
going to
that's
go
the whole plate.
e-close, Jeremy. Like, I'm shocked. I was legitimately betting on you going e-close with your past around you can choose
Yep.
how E you want to be, sort of.
There you go. Right.
Sometimes the regulatory environment chooses for you, but I really thought that's where you were going. I'm shocked.
You know what it is, Sasha? I think it's good that you teed it up, and I'm glad you did. I think I've been burned by it so much. It's like
We're done with it.
I'm not. Yeah,
Ron
I just
Burgundy
can't.
needs a new name.
It's hard to go back to. But yes, you're right. That is a great one. So good. Your cranberry sauce e-close for Sasha. Okay, we'll end on pie. We'll end on dessert. I chose pie because the Thanksgiving I went to at my uncle's every year growing up, there was about 4 different pies. It was always like, which one do you want? Some vanilla ice cream on top. Pumpkin is obviously, the one, but got to get some cherry in there, some pecan maybe. So we'll start. I'll tell you my related dessert in a second, but let's just start with straight up pie. Sasha, do you do pie? Which one?
You ready?
I'm ready.
This is my big curveball for you. I don't like pie. So my pie in the mortgage industry is interest rates this year. Go to you know where with your pie. Bye.
That's right. Okay.
Mic drop. I'm done.
Done. No pie, no dessert.
No pie, no interest rates.
Get out of here.
We're out.
I love it.
Yeah.
There you go. You heard it here first. No dessert.
Robbie's
right,
like,
Robbie.
Sasha, you're fired.
No, this is
I
why
would
we
almost say
get
for
the people talking.
For Thanksgiving, if I'm trying to monitor my calories, I say skip alcohol rather than skip dessert. Go dessert. Maybe you could have ice cream and like something. Sasha, you don't do dessert in general?
You
or?
must have a really cool family because mine, I
Oh.
require that to make it.
My dad, who's listening to this right now, you can see attendees can't see, but Robert Chrisman is an attendee. Will tell you I am not going home for Thanksgiving this year. That's how great my family. Well, I like my family a lot, but I will be in New York City for Thanksgiving. So pie.
There,
I mean,
there
there
is
will
no
be pie.
holiday without.
Will there be pie in
all
New York City?
languages. Sorry.
Yeah.
maybe cheesecake. I'll find some cheesecake. How about that?
There we go. That counts.
Here's
Yeah.
my hot take of the day, and I got to give you time to close the show here. I am pumpkin over apple. I don't like apple pie that much unless there's a lot of ice cream. Pumpkin pie, I could eat for breakfast. I could eat for lunch. I could eat for dinner.
Same.
Just give me a slice. Like, yeah, you don't even need a plate. Just so
I
good.
totally agree. I've eaten pumpkin pie for breakfast and it works every time. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. That'll be Friday morning. Some pumpkin pie for sure. Definitely over apple all day long. I'll close on this. Mine was shared appreciation, fractional ownership. So a couple companies I really like in the space. It's dessert. It's small, but it's meaningful. And I think it's going to get a lot more attention next year. But I spent a lot of my year talking about down payment, fractional, shared appreciation down payment, as well as like 3 or 4 millennials buying a house together, that co-ownership model. So crib equity, nestment. And I'm still excited about it. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as Robbie said. It's sweet,
I want to add one thing. I'm
has
sorry to interrupt.
potential.
Sorry to
Don't
interrupt.
go for
I
it.
want to add one
That's
thing.
what we're doing. It's all
I
good.
feel the pie, the dessert is like the customer experience. We're finally there as an industry. We're finally there at a meal, and it leaves a great taste in your mouth to finish the meal. We're gonna rock the customer experience going forward.
I cannot endorse that only because I still haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen anybody do it.
Well,
Just released a study. 55% of first-time homebuyers still cry at some point in the home buying process.
Oh
We
my
have not gotten to dessert yet. We have not gotten to dessert yet. We're on the right track. We appreciate how important it is, but we have not served it, is my take. But I like where your head's at. That's why I wanted this framework and this format, because it brings out those types of
One
great
day,
great
the
points. So
industry,
great
one day
point.
the industry will get to dessert, and one day Sasha will realize the value and the power of pie. One day, Sasha.
That's right.
Here's how I'm gonna tie it all up and then tee it off to Jeremy to close it out. Pumpkin cake with cream cheese frosting. You see
All right.
your cheesecake with his pumpkin pie, it comes together. I'm happy. I'm a consumer, and you know, I eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So there's the user experience. Go build the pumpkin cake with the cream cheese frosting, and we will all be okay. Now close us out, Jeremy, before I say anything else dumb.
I'm going to close this out with something a little sappy. I am thankful for you, Sasha. I'm thankful for you, Robbie. This has been one of the best experiences of my year. I cannot wait to do a holiday edition at some point in December. We're going to keep getting sponsors. We're going to keep getting great guests. We're going to have a wonderful time. But this week, we're going to be thankful for each other. We're going to have a great time watching some football. So go Lions on Thursday. And thank you, everyone, for joining Now Next Later. Thank you, Sasha, for always being here. And Robbie, so glad you jumped on. This is exactly what I wanted. Appreciate it.
Wouldn't be anywhere else.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Bye.